Alice restore the world from deadly virus in Resident Evil Final Chapter. The film opens with Alice, Milla Jovovich, explaining the origin of the T-virus. Dr. James Marcus, Mark Simpson, wanted to create a cure for his daughter Alicia, Ever Anderson, who was suffering from progeria. Marcus created a cure within the Umbrella Corporation, but soon he would be betrayed by his colleague Dr. Alexander Essex, Iain Glen. After Marcus wanted to shut down the program after seeing the devastating effects of the virus. Essex has Albert Wesker, Shaun Roberts, the CEO of Umbrella, suffocating Marcus to death, and Essex would later become Alicia's guardian and hold her share of the company. Essex created the Red Queen in Alicia's likeness and let the T-virus break out in Raccoon City, and within months, the entire planet would be infected over the next 10 years. In the opening scene, Alice is wandering around the ruins of Washington, D.C. by herself. She finds a pond of water and begins drinking before she is attacked by an infected mutant. Alice kills it and then finds a car. A flying monster swoops down and tries to kill Alice, but she gets the car started and drives away. The monster chases after Alice. She gets ahead of it and rides off a ramp to slam into it against a wall. It's still alive, but Alice finds a Claymore bomb in the back of the car. She detonates it and blows the monster up. Alice enters a building and is met by the Red Queen. She knows that Wesker betrayed Alice and the other survivors in Washington 3 weeks ago, events from the previous film, Retribution. The Red Queen tells Alice that there is an airborne antivirus located within the hive of the Umbrella Corporation in the ruins of Raccoon City, and she has 48 hours to get there and unleash it, or else Umbrella will launch one last strike against the survivors. When Alice questions why the Red Queen would help her, she points out a mutant behind Alice. Alice kills it. Alice makes her way toward the ruins of Raccoon City in a stolen car, but is ensnared in a trap laid out by Umbrella mercenaries. They start to attack Alice, but she gets the upper hand and starts kicking their asses and shooting them dead. She tries to take one of their motorcycles, but it only works for Umbrella operatives, so it electrocutes her and knocks her out. Several hours later, Alice wakes up inside a convoy with other survivors who have been captured. She is greeted by Isaacs. Alice at first questions how he's still alive after she killed him, in extinction, but she realizes she killed one of his clones. Isaacs has Alice's hands tied to the back of the convoy, so she has to run as thousands of the undead zombies are chasing her. She hops back onto the convoy and starts fighting Isaac's henchmen. Isaac steps out to take on Alice himself. She chops off his hand so she can take control of the motorcycle and escape. Alice arrives in the ruins of Raccoon City and sees that the hive is on the other side of a massive crater in the ground. She heads on over and is hit by a trap set up by some survivors. She is taken in by Doc, Eowyn McKen, Razor, Fraser James, Christian, William Levy, and Cobalt, Rolla. They try to hold Alice captive until Claire Redfield, Allie Larder, steps out and sees Alice. Doc treats Alice, and she learns that he and Claire have formed a relationship. Claire explains how she got away from the Umbrella operatives on the Arcadia ship at the beginning of the 5th film, Retribution. Alice explains her intentions and plan to storm the hive in order to get the cure. Meanwhile, Isaacs leads the Umbrella military convoy toward Raccoon City, with the undead following closely. The survivors gear up for the impending attack. Alice meets Abigail, Ruby Rose, a mechanic that built most of the machinery in the hideout. With her help, the survivors construct traps as the undead start closing in. The survivors launch flaming barrels of gasoline into the undead crowd, along with sending huge chunks of debris down on them. A female survivor starts running toward the hideout. The group tries to protect her, but Isaacs has her shot dead before she can reach the gate. The survivors start making their way toward the hive. Cobalt gets killed and eaten by the undead. Alice fights one of Isaac's henchmen, Chu Junji Lee. He nearly overpowers her until Alice shoots him. They tie Chew to the back of the convoy, but he's not as fast as Alice, and he becomes zombie food. She blames herself for the outbreak because she felt she was too weak. Wesker appears and holds Claire at gunpoint. Since the Red Queen cannot harm an Umbrella employee, Alicia fires Wesker, allowing the system to slam a door down and sever Wesker's foot. Isaacs gets away and Alice leaves Doc to Claire. She shoots him in the head for his deception. Alice leaves Wesker with a detonator in his hand for when he is ready to die. Alice and Claire go after Isaacs. They fight him as he ascends on a platform. Alice follows him into the laser grid. Isaacs holds her hand and has her fingers severed, but Alice takes the opportunity to pull a pin from a grenade in Isaac's pocket. It blows up on his side. Alice takes the antivirus from his pocket and kicks him down. Alice goes outside to drop the antivirus as time is about to run out. She drops it, but Isaacs catches it. Just then, the Isaacs clone arrives with the undead army. He sees the original Isaacs and is in disbelief that he is not the original himself. Clone Isaacs stabs original Isaacs to death before the undead tear into the clone. Alice drops the antivirus before the undead catch up to her. Within seconds, every single one of them drops dead for good. Wesker takes his thumb off the detonator, causing the facility to blow up and kill him and Alicia. Alice then collapses. Alice wakes up to Claire telling her she succeeded. Alice wonders how she is still alive. A projection of the Red Queen tells Alice that the antivirus destroyed the T-virus cells in her body, but her healthy cells kept her alive. Alice asks why the Red Queen didn't tell her this before, and she states that she needed to know that Alice would be willing to sacrifice herself for the rest of humanity. She shows Alice that before Alicia died, she uploaded her memories to give to Alice so that Alice may remember the life Alicia used to have, now that she is the woman Alicia could never be. In the final scene, Alice rides away on her motorcycle alone. Her voiceover states that it could take years for the antivirus to completely spread across the globe, and that her work is not done. She is pursued by 3 winged monsters flying overhead. Alice simply grins and keeps on riding. This is the end of it.